Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut, and we also do ISO certification, all derivatives. Today, we have a very special guest from Boeing's board. Now, back in July, we sent out a 42-page document. Here it is. We sent out a 42-page document to Boeing's board. The funniest thing is, and nothing happens by chance, there are 11 board members. There's 11 letters of recommendation into this. I am sure they never received this. I'm sure when David Calhoun was made CEO, they didn't even have experience down because he's an accountant. And that's neither here nor there. He was on board since 2009 on their board of directors. And then in 2020, he got promoted and now he's got to leave. And let me continue on with this. So I sent this 42-page document, certified mail, as I showed you, and nobody responded. We have a gentleman here. I'm glad he came in. His name is David Joyce. Here he is. Hello, Dave. How you doing, sir? Excellent you came in. This video today is about QA expert and Boeing shareholder Daryl Guberman educates Boeing board member David L. Joyce. Here you go, Dave. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to sit you here. I was there, Dave, in 2017. April 17th of 2024, supporting Sam Salapar, the whistleblower for the 777, 787. The thing that I held up, these two pieces of paper, is one is a special process for heat treat welding, etc., that Boeing said will send us your heat treating welding certificate, send us your parts, and for 22 years we don't have to do any on-site audits. I'm sure that Boeing did a couple sample inspections, but they didn't do a full-blown audit because they were doing cost-cutting initiatives, as we all know. They're corporate America. And then what you have is on with the other piece of paper is a supplier bulletin. You will see it very shortly. And they were all 2002 that says you have to send in your AS9100 certificate for aerospace, but it's got to be ANSI ANAB accredited. If it's not ANSI ANAB accredited, basically too bad. It's got to be that. Send in your certificate. Send in your parts, and you're good to go. I was also there when David Calhoun was getting inquisitioned, and the only thing he knew was how many employees he had, and when he was pressured, how much money he's making. In 2013, a Region 3 director, Dave Levy, came in, and he was sent to destroy me at this ASQ meeting because I was starting my quality certification business, GPMC LLC, and he wanted to destroy me because that's competition and it's going to be bad if they have another competitor. And you hear it all the time that competition breeds better quality. Well, with ANSI ANAB, as we can see with Boeing and Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, and also Lockheed Martin, after their 801st F-35, they're still producing them with rejections. And by the way, I read a report. Okay, I have the GAO, the Government Accounting Office report from 2013 that said that Lockheed didn't follow disciplined AS9100 procedures and processes, okay, along with their engine supplier, Pratt & Whitney. It's in a 2013 book that at that time they had 719 rejections. Here we go, 11 years later, they have 821 rejections on their aircraft. Their quality isn't improving, it's degrading. ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation. It's been around for 100+ years. Randy Doherty handed over leadership to this communist Chinese national, Zhao Jinwu, in 2015. Zhao Jinwu is also the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services. He, in 2017, was the guy that was in the Wuhan laboratory, the WIV, Wuhan Institute of Virology, handing them a laboratory certificate to a laboratory that was not prepared. In 2018, some scientists came over from the United States. You can find that in a Politico writing. We have that if you need it, 203-556-1493, or Daryl, DARYLTQRS, at yahoo.com. Okay, Politico, they said that the scientists in Wuhan were crying basically to the scientists of the United States, say we need more trained technicians. In a May 2019 CDC training document, I got that too, it states that any well-run virology lab, the first line of containment is well-trained technicians. So basically you had Zhao Jinwu giving out a certificate to an ill-prepared laboratory, thus the COVID virus escaped. And by the way, Dave, there's a woman from ANSI ANAB, She's a vice president of accreditation for laboratories. She said under deposition in Texas, from one laboratory to another, there are variances and they lack protocol. She confessed to the release of the COVID virus. Isn't that a tender moment? ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation. ANSI, again, ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018, and they were sitting on the IAF, and the IAF is an association of accreditation bodies, both national and international, along with their sister organization, ILAC in Australia, International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation. ANSI and ANAB are underwriters for IAF and ILAC, means they take full legal responsibility for both systematic and product failure. Here you go, Dave. You see this, that ANSI is the founder of the IAF, and also you have the affiliate of ANAB. And here it is. Now we get to Boeing, where you sit. And this is very important, Dave. Dave, you're smiling now, but you never responded. Professionalism and integrity. You could have blown me off and said, Mr. Guberman, thank you for your report, your presentation. We're looking into it, and just leave me at that. And you didn't do it. And I'm a shareholder. Sit down. Holy vey. These people, it's like talking to the wall when I'm talking to these people. Boeing. Here it is. Boeing. Boeing sits on ANSI ANAB's board. Okay, and they force it down their suppliers and subcontractors' throats. They've been freezing me out of the business for almost 12 years. They're breaking the Sherman-Clayton Act, Dave, and we have all the data. We have it all. So is Lockheed Martin. In 2002, okay, Boeing gave up inspection, on-site inspection to PRI, Professional Review Institute, who's the special process company that gives them a certificate. The supplier sends in the certificate, sends in the parts, and Boeing doesn't have to do any on-site audits for heat treat, welding, etc. In 2002, again, this was in the special processes was in April of 2002. In July of 2002, you have the supplier bulletin where Boeing said you have to send in your AS9100 certificate as long as it's accredited by ANSI ANAB. Why, you'll see. What happens is send in your certificate, send in your parts, and Boeing doesn't have to do any on-site audits. In 2009, Boeing was made an FAA regulator. They are the FAA in 2009. They didn't have to tell anything about MCAST or testing or design. Sam Salapar is correct. Okay, they are self-certifier, except when the Ethiopian Indonesian Air went down in 2019, the spokesperson came out and said, the FAA never lets anybody police themselves or self-certify. They're lying. Most recently, the DOJ, Dave, said that Boeing lied to the FAA. Well, they didn't have to tell them anything about MCAST from what these documentation is telling us. Here's their supplier portal. Supplier portal must be ANSI ANAB or internationally equivalent. If it's ASQ, it's still ANSI ANAB at the time. International equivalent could be China, Iran, and Pakistan, or others. They are all equivalent in accreditation to ANSI ANAB. They took this down, by the way, Dave. They took this web page down. This is an actual web page of ANSI ANAB's website. And it basically says this is the Management System Accreditation Committee that has Boeing on board that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. You find anything wrong with that? Again, when they were an FAA agency, they were caught fudging documentation by their FAA agency, the FAA. You can't, there's steel that they put into the airplane along with Kobe steel, 2017. You have this, you have all these agencies, there's a lot more than this, that are sitting right over by Boeing. These are the agencies that Boeing is in touch with now because of their disastrous quality. DOJ, DHS, FAA, and Boeing, of course. The thing about it is they're not just board members, they are also customers. The customers are the Department of Commerce, Homeland Security, Department of Justice, U.S. Food and Drug Administration. They are not only just customers of ANSI ANAB, the accreditation body of Boeing, but they are also customers. You have, of course, David, you also have Robert Kelly Oberg, who was the CEO on board when the MCAS system was designed, manufactured, and implemented at Boeing 737 MAX. If you find anything wrong with that, he brings 348 ghosts with him from those people who passed away, who died on those aircraft. Dave, we're going to leave it here. We're going to leave it here. I hope you got an education today, and I'm coming to you rather than you coming to me. I look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future. We haven't heard anything from you. Crickets, that's all. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS @yahoo.com. I thank you, Dave.